Are you struggling with golden items in D4? Well, you can always throw your wallet against the wall. Use my code for a discount. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel once again. So today we are gonna have a look at the best build you can play for Barbarian in Season 4 if you are not trying to push the highest heights of the pit, which is probably 99% of the people. And this is the fastest build for speed farming pits, for materials, speed farming Helltides, and you can even use it for, leveling. And the best thing about this build is that it requires no Ubers. Obviously, if you want to max out on it, then Ubers are a necessity. But if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. It still works. This is the best AliExpress build. That's what I call it, when you can just slap on, any non-GA item or one GA item, whatever you find in your stash, and just make it work. So I actually have 3 versions of the build. My original version with Tibault's Will, which is made for iron skin and pushing really high pits, even with Whirlwind. Then, which is what we're gonna look at now, a build that is based on the Chinese meta, which is Ariad's bearing and kick. So that's what I'm using right now with my updated Paragon board and some changes that I will talk about. And then there's the no Uber build that I mentioned. So let's start off with the gear. Again, I will always show you, the most important GA and where to masterwork. So Harlequin Crest with cooldown reduction, Terrible Smite with resistances to all elements, then our gloves with crit strike chance. Here the aspect is Relentless Berserker to make us berserking, well, all the time. Because we need to be berserking not only to boost our damage, but to be able to proc berserk ripping, which is what this build is based around. This is still a bleed build. Berserk ripping is simply mwah, this season. Then, as I said, Ariad's bearing. Here GA ultimate cooldown reduction, so that we have as close to 100% uptime as possible, because these ancients do a lot of direct damage. The Talix Dust Devils even get boosted through all of our, Dust Devil synergies. So that's absolutely bonkers. Plus, of course, we get the flat damage increase with, ancients up. So absolutely awesome. Then Jan's Blessing, GA and crits on movement speed, because we need to overcap on the 200 by quite a lot. So that because Whirlwind, lowers our movement speed, but we still want to be 200 or as close to 200 as possible to, well, speed farm. So we need to be fast, right? Also, the chance to restore our primary resource further works with all of the synergies for our Dust Devils. So these are really great pants, and of course they give us a lot of DR as well. Then our 200 is Mace, GA vulnerable, and here we actually want to masterwork on the crit strike damage, which you cannot see in the builder because max roll doesn't let me add it, but that's where we want to masterwork instead of the chance for Dust Devils to cast twice. I don't think that's the way you should do it, because if you just combine 200 with a 1-hander with this temper, then you already reach 100%, and we can masterwork all of our crit strike damage, which is one of our most important stats, and it will simply give us more damage. What's also important on the 2-handed mace is the fury on kill. That's what makes us stand in the middle of the Helltide event and just be max out on fury all the times. It helps us, spawn all the Dust Devils. It's absolutely bonkers. Make sure you have it. It's absolutely must have on one of our 2-handers. Then for our 1-handers, our swords, again, GA vulnerable. One of them, as I already said, Dust Devils to cast twice to reach the 100. We are triple critting on the crit strike damage. Here the aspect is elements, and on the other sword, the aspect is fear winds. And here the temper is berserking duration, because berserking duration helps us have more berserking from all sources. So that works great for the relentless aspect, and it also works really well for our kick and battle fervor passive, which will give us berserking against the boss, as well as proc vulnerable on the boss. Then for our other 200 we are using polearm. Again, it was Wu Wang, if I'm not mistaken, who did the proper Asian math, showing that polearm is outperforming grandfather. no surprise there. Grandfather is very outdated. All of the Ubers and Uniques are pretty much outdated because their stats are very, very low compared to what we can get on new items with the tempers and of course with aspects. Here we are going for Dust Devil size, GA on vulnerable, and again masterworking on the crit strike damage. The Dust Devil aspect here for the Whirlwind is simply the best because it doubles the direct damage from the Dust Devils. That's what we want. Once again, synergy with Berserk Ripping and everything. It's absolutely mwah. One of our rings is Starless Skies because it got buffed and is now absolutely bonkers. Helps us with resource generation as well as with damage. G on the crit strike chance. Of course, we want to be super high on crit strike chance. As high as humanly possible. Our other ring, crit strike chance GA, and here we actually want to double crit on the damage while berserking so that we have 300 berserking even without our glyph. Everywhere we can, we are also getting Warcry cooldown reduction because we want 100% uptime on our Warcry as well. And that's why we are also playing Bold Chieftain's aspect, because we are also going to be playing Martial Glyph instead of Ire, which will further help us have 100% uptime or very high uptime on our Call of the Ancients. And then for our amulet, G on the crit strike chance as always. And then here I recommend heavy-handed as the passive of choice because heavy-handed actually boosts the damage of all of our skills. Okay, the direct damage from Whirlwind, from the Dust Devils, from the Tyrell, all of that works for heavy-handed, while Cut to the Bone only boosts our bleeds. So my recommendation here is heavy-handed, but whether you get heavy-handed or Cut to the Bone does not matter. Both are awesome. The aspect here is devilish because we are generating insane amounts of fury, whether it's the speed farm agent style or whether it's the Tibault's will push style with Tibault's will Iron Skin, Rallying Cry, all of that just keeps on proccing the 50 fury, and we're just shooting Dust Devils everywhere. So that's absolutely awesome. Once again, the gems in armory can be either rubies or amethysts. Just base it on how you feel. If you feel like you are already immortal, you're not dying to anything, just get more strength because why not? Otherwise you can just slap on rubies and not give a damn and just be immortal. Then for our skills, of course, taking the Whirlwind, 2 points in the basic skills just to get there, not to use them, and then following the same rule as always, we are going for all the multiplicatives and all the defensives on the board that we can, taking the kick with Battle Fervor, as I said, to proc our berserking and proc vulnerable against the endgame boss. Rallying Cry for insane resource cost generation. So yeah, that will help us get more Dust Devils and everything. And then getting the Call of the Ancients together with Gushing Wounds, of course, for all of that extra damage, all of that extra direct damage turning into bleeds. Then for our Paragon Board, Exploit in the starter as always. Then we go for the Decimator and Might. Then we go right, we are taking Carnage and Martial. Then we're going down, taking Warbringer Node and Executioner for the extra damage. Then we go back to the Decimator, going up and taking Bonebreaker, the classic Ref Glyph here, all of the DR, all of the HP, that's what we want. Blood Rage and Disembowel Glyph, because the Twister Glyph, once again, I think it was Wu Wang who tested it. That guy is just, crazy. The Twister Glyph is not working, and Disembowel gives us insane CDR. And of course, the Legendary Node turns all of our additive berserking damage into multiplicative, and then we are going up and ending it with Hemorrhage, turning our vulnerable additive into multiplicative. So I hope you enjoyed the build video, and see you in the next one. Ciao!